Alexis.
You're over here.
I'm over here. I like Ed's dramatic reading.
That was awfully nice.
He should come to every book tour stop.
By the way, I need to clear up a couple of things that he said. I don't play a slob on TV. I am a slob. Mika, we had this assembly line. Henry Ford would be proud. We've all the books. There's not a signing upstairs afterwards. The governor's confused. They were pre-signed. And we had this assembly line. And we were doing very well. And I was, I was being the very supportive co-host. And I was opening the books. And Alex was passing it over. And then Mika was signing it. And then she was passing it on. And then Ed brings in Federal Donuts.
It was delicious and disgusting
And
at
I
the same
said,
time.
sweet Jesus. And I went for the chicken wings.
I was
They're
having
very
kale chips.
good.
It was all going very well.
I swear to God, Mika brings kale chips. Ed brings Federal Donuts. I think we all know.
Where are they?
what
Let's pass them
everybody's eating. Not the kale chips.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't even feed those to my dog.
Oh, they're good. They're okay.
Second thing, I used to live in Oklahoma City, and that's how
There you go.
that's how they lost. That's a lie. So Mika, why don't do we want to do this like Charlie Rose?
What an amazing crowd.
Why don't you have a seat here and I'll ask you some questions and then get up and wave your own.
Okay, I went to therapy
on.
for the book, but
Hold
I
on.
don't really know if I feel like any
I'm going to be
tonight.
Charlie Rose here. Hold on.
Oh,
Ready?
well then make sure you have a
Hold on.
long-winded
Hold on. Hold
question.
on. Are you ready?
Yes, Charlie.
Mika,
Yes.
how do you do what you do?
I don't know, Charlie.
So,
I'm gonna cry
first
now.
of all, why did you write this book and why did you write the book now?
Well, I've been wanting actually to tell this story for a few years because I've been in this business for a long time now, about 25 years. And I spent most of it trying to look like something I wasn't and be a size that I wasn't. And after having kids and them becoming teenagers, you kind of feel called out on everything, don't you, when you have teenagers? I really did feel like I was sort of living a lie, and I also couldn't keep up with it. And I realized it was really unhealthy, but the inspiration for the book started with a
I got to
conversation.
stop because there are a lot of women out there that are asking, what the hell are you talking about? What do
Yeah.
you mean? You're looking
Right.
pretty healthy right now. You just ran a half marathon. You're doing okay.
Right.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop right now.
Yeah.
There's a good time to stop and ask this question.
Yeah.
How many women in the audience right now, raise your hands, hate Mika? Raise your hands. I'm just
Oh my
for
gosh,
saying,
you're
I
raising
just
your
couldn't keep up with life.
hand.
Okay, let's
That's
talk about this
terrible.
because this is in your introduction.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
say,
okay.
You say,
wanna go
don't
there.
hate me because I'm beautiful. And I said, okay, well, I'll take that one off the list. No, but you say in the introduction that
There was a risk
there's
involved
a
here.
real risk involved here. Let's start by talking about the problems you had because you showed me some pictures of yourself in high school and college. And okay,
It's not
believe
good.
you.
Just admit it.
It's unique.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that there's a challenge that you're bulimic. You had a lot of eating disorders, and it's what's so fascinating is as you read this book, it seems so easy
Right.
to you, even for those of us that worked with her, until there will be these moments where Mika will be really tired. One of them was in Orange County. We call it the Orange County moment. And we were exhausted and we were on this cable, all these, I don't know, we were being nice to some people that our bosses told us we had to be nice to.
We were on West Coast time.
And we were
did the
exhausted
show
on
in the
West
middle of
Coast
the night.
time. And I really did think up to that point that Mika just liked eating leaves and nuts. And so we're at Orange County, we're all exhausted, and I look at the plate and it's like rubber chicken breaded. And even I
Actually,
said,
it was breaded chicken with cheese in the middle. It had risotto on the side. There were
Cold
fries and
risotto.
chocolate cake.
and I said to myself,
To be exact.
I turned to Mika and I said, even I wouldn't eat this shit. And as I turned to her and say it, swear to God, the plate is gone and she's actually licking her fingers. And I looked at her and then I was like, what? And another time we went down to a Bob Schieffer event.
Schieffer Symposium.
For a Bob Schieffer symposium, and this happens every once in a while. And we looked in the back of the car, and it's like raccoons were like getting into tinfoil. They had Bob Schieffer had given us some tamales. And Mika, without telling the other 5 of us in the car, had eaten them all. We turn on the lights, and she's got this stuff all over her face. So I say all this to say you are really disciplined, but it doesn't come natural to you, and it's a battle every day. And that's something that I didn't realize.
It's funny. It's funny, but it's not. Does this
Just
work?
like Morning Joe, I do all the talking. We cut her mics.
How do I do this? Does this work? It's funny, but it's not when you look back at it. And we do have a lot of joking on the show about this, which was another reason why I wanted to tell this. But to address what we put in the intro and what you helped me with, because there was a disconnect. First of all, the world that I have been working in for 25 years, TV, everything is exaggerated. You have to be much thinner than the normal person, so you think. You have to be a certain way. You have to look a certain way. Your hair has to be... We've broken all those rules on our show, but 25 years of local news and network news took its toll on my image of myself. And I tell stories in the book about how I was dressed a certain way. Everything had to be really tight. And I was even told by a network executive that they wanted to hire me, but I really need to go lose some weight and come back in 6 months and try again. And I did, and I came back in 6 months and got a job. So the messages were very clear, and some of them were subliminal. But you know, if you already have a certain obsession or compulsiveness, or I claim even addiction, to some of these foods that we are surrounded with in our environment, I think it's a bad mix. And I tell this story because I discovered after a very, very uncomfortable, tough conversation with an extremely close friend who was actually obese, that even though she had a very different physical result, we both had gotten to the point that we had gotten to the same way.
All right, so
and it was driven by food obsession.
Let's set that up in 1 second, but to let people know how the obsession continues. Mika's on the Today Show yesterday, right? She's talking about being obsessed, and she's working her way towards being healthy, and you explained how you were a size 2, right?
I was 118 pounds and a size 2.
So since you started doing this book, you actually have started eating.
That was the
and
challenge,
you weigh,
the deal.
How much do you weigh now?
133.
And you
size
are
6.
Size 6, okay.
And
so,
it looks good.
So we're celebrating this, and Mika's going around saying, I look good, like she's convincing herself.
Yeah.
But this, like, obsessed demon inside of you, I call you on the Today Show, and I say, hey, that Today Show head was great. You kicked their it was amazing. He goes, I looked fat, didn't I? I looked fat. And I was like, oh, God, you're still obsessed.
Yes.
But you're obsessed. Diane, your friend, even though she weighed 255 pounds, she carried the same obsession around with her all the time. And talk about how this book started on a boat.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
well,
almost ended your
by
friendship.
By the way, an addiction, I think, is not something you ever get rid of. So we'll go there in a second. But 2 years ago, I'm on the boat with one of my closest friends. Our families are there. And, you know,
You've known her for 25
known her
years.
for a long time. We have shared so much together.
You guys had a baby together.
We had a baby together. My husband was out of town for the birth of our second child, and she came to the hospital with me. And in the middle of intense labor, Carly was taking a long time to arrive. The doctor went to order a pizza, and Diane caught my baby. So we literally, there's sides of me I wish she hasn't seen. But I'll tell you that it was amazing to me that about 2 years ago, we'd known each other so long, shared so much, yet we hadn't talked about this one thing that really needed to be addressed and divided us. I was really skinny. Probably too skinny. Yes, I was too skinny. And Diane had become obese. She had gained 100 pounds. And I told her on that boat ride, and you can imagine how thin I was and how she must have felt, but I told her that I was worried about her and that she was fat. And I used the word obese, and I found my heart beating and sweat beginning to run down my back because I could tell this conversation could get really bad. But
Yeah, I don't usually call my friends fat.
Yeah.
But you decided to do this. You decided to do it because you told the